We're going to take a look at triangle proofs part 1. So again, the last tab is going to be proofs. It's going to be 2 pages long. So it'll be 4 examples, and we'll do it in 2 parts. So pause the video and copy that down. Pause the video and copy that down. Pause the video and copy that down. And pause the video and copy that down. So we'll do the first 2 questions now and then the second one. Alright, so complete the proof given that HJ is parallel to GK. What does that mean? So when you add up all these sides, you're going to get 180. That's what they want. Well, I also know that if I have a straight line, I have 180. So if I have all of these, I can say it's 180, and that's how I can prove that the triangles are added to 180. So let's fill in the information they give us. So HJ is parallel to GK, represented by an arrow. So that's given. Angle G is congruent to angle IHJ. So angle 1G is congruent to angle 2, which is IHJ. So we're going to write that down. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, so I don't lose track. Now the question is why? Alright, so let me draw my parallel lines. And then it has like that HG line going through it. And then it's angle 2 and angle 1. Why are those congruent? Because they're corresponding. Do you see how they're both? Okay, so if I drew my house, they're not both inside, they're not both outside. So we decided if it's on the same line and there's one in and one out, it's corresponding. Alright. So the reason would be corresponding. Angle K is congruent to JHK. So we're going to label that 3 and JHK 4. Okay, why are those congruent? So let's draw it out. So let me draw my parallel lines, and then it's what? It's a Z. That's the one that shares those 2 angles. So it's a line going through. So 4 and 3. What is that? Oh, I put the 3 in the wrong spot. Look at me, I'm tripping. 3 is above the line. There you go. Alright, so they're both inside on alternate sides. So that's interior alternate angles. This is a listening check. Color in my house with interior alternate. Alright, so then measure of IHK. Let's call that angle 5. IHK. So that's 2 and 4 together. So we'll call that 5. Equals IHJ, which IHJ we had already used previously. It was a second one on number 2, so the second one on number 2 is 2. So we're going to add 2 and JHK, which is the one on 3. So when I add 2 and 4, I'm going to get 5. Why? Okay, so I'm going to just draw it out. When I add those 2, I'm going to get the whole thing. When I add part 1 and part 2, I get the whole thing. You should know this by now, but that's the additive property of angle measure. Kind of like segment addition, but for angles. Alright, so number 5, IHK, which is the same one as we did before, so that's angle 5, is congruent to angle G, which was the first one on 2, which is 1, plus IHK, which is the last one on 3, so that's 3. So 1 plus 3 is equal to 5. Why? Because they tell me 1 is equal to 2 and 3 is equal to 4, and 5 is equal to 2 plus 4. So if I just substitute 2 for the 1 and 4 for the 3, 2 for the 1 and 4 for the 3, then that's going to be equal to 5. So what did I just do there? I substituted, because I know that they're equal. Alright, GHK, which is angle, let's call that angle 6. We need to make that one up. GHK, angle 6, plus IHK, which is the one above we just did on angle 5, equals 180. Why? So I'm going to draw out what it is. So 6 is right there, and then 5 is that whole thing. So I'm not going to draw 2 separate lines. Why is that equal to 180? Because that's a linear pair. And then finally, measure of G, and G is from number 2, angle 1, plus angle 3, plus GHK, which is the one right above, angle 6, equals 180. How can I say that? Well, because I just proved that angle 5 was going to be angle 2 and 4 together. See, angle 5 was 2 and 4 together, right? And we know that angle 2 and 4 together gives me angle 5 from the one above. And we know that angle 2 is the same as angle 1, angle 4 is the same as angle 3. And so why can I say this all adds up to 180? Because I'm going to substitute angles 1 and 3 basically for angle 5, because angle 5 and 6 is 180. So I'm going to substitute 1 and 3 in there because I know that angle 1 is equal to 2 and angle 3 is equal to 4. Alright, let's take a look at one more example. So this one should be relatively easier. Let's always start by what's, okay, I start by what's given, and then the final statement is always whatever you're proving. So we're proving that statement, so you put that in the last box. Then what's given? We have this box here. What does that mean? It means EG is perpendicular to FG. Now remember what that word perpendicular means. It means that it makes a 90-degree angle. So that's given in the question because of the box. And then what does that mean? It means that the measurement of angle G is equal to 90 degrees. Why? Because that's the definition of what perpendicular means. Then why can I say if I add angle G, angle E, and angle F together, why do I get 180? Because of the triangle angle sum, meaning all triangles add up to 180 degrees. This is a listening check. Color in triangle angle sum. So now that I know that, I can just simply say, well, I already know angle G is 90 degrees, right? So I can put 90 degrees there, plus the measures of angle E and the measure of angle F has to equal 180. And then what I do, I just substituted G for 90. So now why is it that E and F is equal to 90? Because of algebra. I took the 90 across the river, so 180 minus 90 is 90. Let's practice.